Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another evening of the Sept of Howling Winds. Currently, a particular guru is in the middle of the city performing his nightly exercises, going through his parkour training. It appears that another guru, Veronica Nix, also known as Strikes with Lightning, has gone in search of the wayward Rakabash to have a conversation with him. The scene opens with Jong-Lee standing on the roof, currently performing some stretches before he begins his operation.
And Veronica has always her serious look, while arms crossed, watching them both with a curiosity as well as maintaining her composure. She waits till he's done with his stretches before addressing to him.
How long have you been watching me?
Enough, only for a few seconds.
He looks over at her. He's dressed differently than normal. Normally, you see him often in an old suit, but today you're seeing him in not high end, but average workout equipment.
Hmm.
Running shorts, a performance T-shirt. There's a water bottle nearby. So what can I do for you, Strikes with Lightning, Raya?
She looks at him. So there's been a lot of activity going on with the Karen. And I feel that some of the younger members, we should all be talking to each other, learning how we can coordinate, even if we are different packs or tag-alongs.
Tag along. Haven't heard that phrase.
Routine you do for the Karen or something else? As your gesture's still working out.
Keeps me in shape. Keeps me in the alert position. Most of us hone ourselves on the field of battle, but many forget that there are other ways to train one's body.
That is true.
Not to mention, gives you a good view of the city that few bother to gain.
It can.
You seem to disagree.
I've been rather busy lately, so haven't been to the city as much as normally. It is good to have a more survey surrounding on everything, whether it's the city or the wilderness or the Umbra.
In the wilderness, many creatures, by their nature, look up. Not here. Here, everyone looks down. He says, looking over the edge.
You bring up an interesting point.
Sometimes you have to take a different approach. When I'm in the woods, I don't like to get the high ground.
Not to
I
mention there
prefer.
are threats in this city.
Well, I haven't come across any yet.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I haven't come across any yet.
There might be at one point. I notice you still don't have a pack yet. Are you making
There
one
are,
or?
well, there aren't many young guru who are freelance.
No, there isn't. No, I've seen some guru that do not join packs.
It's not a natural state to be in.
Who knows? That could change in time. You never know what's going to happen.
You're a gibbous moon.
Yes.
How true can that be when you look backwards far enough, you see that everything seems to be a cycle?
And things always repeat. The moon phase will repeat and always go from new moon to full, and then full moon to new moon.
It's why I wonder how we've been caught off guard so many times.
Some of the other problems, in my honest opinion, is people don't know how to coordinate always all the time. They hunt for renown and forget what they're supposed to be doing.
I wouldn't have volunteered to go on that kin fetch, or in this case, a first change fetch,
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't for the fact that the SEP needed a vehicle. That said, we sent too many Guru on that mission.
Yeah, if there was too many, we could have had a problem. You are right on that.
Not to mention, I'm noticing that even if we did coordinate, well, it's not my place to make any further judgments on the matter. I am not Half Moon.
However, the Ragabeshes are good with some of their criticisms. Every phase is important on different things.
We only needed 3 for that mission.
My only concern was making sure that person didn't run or break the veil.
Consider this then. 4 if you include me, because I was driving a vehicle. 2 people in the cars, 2 people go to the door. The best he could do would be to go out of another exit. Even then, there wouldn't be very far he could go.
Some of the stories I was paying attention to is, in some cases, if someone gets startled, they transform. Is the other problem.
That's an easier problem to deal with. That's why you make sure at least one person going up to the door is more specialized in our mission. Part of coordinating is knowing what everyone is capable of doing. Other than a few at the sept, I'm fairly certain that most aren't perceptive enough to realize what everyone else can do.
She's chuckling at this, where you could tell, like, that's what she's thinking of and why she's talking to you. Out of game, this is like what she wants to do is learn about everyone.
I'm a scout. I'm a warrior. And I can infiltrate. So I can speak if I have to.
As a Galliard, as well as an Alpha, I am well versed in knowing how to use the correct words, but I'm also very good at striking fear. Also, as a Galliard, I'm very knowledgeable on various stories.
However, your greatest strength is the ability to make up people underestimate you, he says, looking back from the ledge now.
Hmm. If you do a check, a empathy check, you could figure out like you're not the first person who learned this, that
Oh,
told her this.
he no no check required. He is not actually curious if he's right or not. Just continues to look at her. So why approach me? There has to be, I believe, four other more skilled or knowledgeable individuals who have just achieved their status as Cleath, if I recall.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm part of that.
Oh, so why seek me out? There's at least four other individuals, I believe, who have achieved the rank of Cleath.
You take a different approach other than most Garu that I've encountered, as well as there's a lot of younger rank Garu. And in a lot of cases, I've been noticing multiple packs have been working together. They don't know much. Not to mention with everyone's differences, some are reluctant to work together.
I guess it goes back to what you hinted at when we began this conversation. You're concerned that there are too many of the younger set who are seeking renown and personal glory, perhaps, over coordination.
She smiles, gives you like a devilish grin.
Well, you don't have to worry about that from me. I'm just here to serve the Sept.
I'm glad to hear that. You didn't come off across the type that would do that either.
Why start a fight? There's too few of us, anyways.
There is. As you see her like get a serious look on her face.
How many warriors, bluster aside, how many dedicated warriors do we have at the Sept that you know of?
Out of game, give me one moment. So there are at least 8 packs. Some of the newer members, there's not as many, like younger members. That's like probably a good fraction of our Karen. Some of the older members, I notice a lot of them stay at the Karen, but that's part of their job.
Guardians, of course.
Not just Guardians. Like, worm foe, tail spinner, singer, tail singer, alpha and beta position,
Ah,
gatekeeper.
you're thinking of the entire one.
Well, to maintain something, everyone has to take care. There's different parts everyone has.
Met a new fostern.
Have you?
Well, he said that he's been here before.
Oh, the Geta Fenris. Out of game, I think his name is Alid. I keep mispronouncing it.
Do you know what pack he belongs to?
I have not, and I still need to talk to him.
He's a conservative.
He does seem like that. He also has some major concerns with the Karen. There's also a new Shadow Lord.
He has major concerns with, I believe, certain members of the Karen. It's not my place to discuss too much about him, but I will say he doesn't seem to have much of a love for Sasha.
Hmm.
Which brings me to, I believe, my main point. What's going to happen? You want us to all coordinate and work together.
Which is why, in some cases, I have to look into things. Because you cannot work together with people if you do not understand them.
I don't believe it's a lack of understanding. I believe that there are many goals, many agendas here at the Sept. It's not like the Sept I came from. Almost purely glasswalkers. Children of cockroach. Different directions, different goals. Reminds me, he says, kind of sweeping his arm outwards towards the city behind him, of that.
She looks at where his arms pointed.
He was just doing a sweep across the
Oh,
entire
okay.
city skyline. Are you proposing unity at the Sept?
I would like some unity, but I'm also looking for allies.
I'll be honest, you're the first child of Thunder, the grandchild of Thunder, to suggest seeking allies.
Well, in Europe, the Bar Group has made alliances with various people, and look what progress they have made.
He's made alliances with many Karens. You're suggesting allies with individuals. I find that an interesting turn of phrase.
Well, if we're able to work together as a Karen, then we could work better with other Karens.
Sounds like there's something that you need to do.
She smiles.
When are you challenging the warder?
In due time.
And can you take a full moon?
Out of game, who's the warder again?
Actually, my character is not 100% certain ever since there was that shakeup. So
Okay.
he I see OOC. I don't know.
Oh, geez. There might be other ways to get unity other than just the warder. I mean, we do have a new worm foe in.
Also, the first sept I've been to that has a permanent worm foe. You guys have a very interesting. We have a very interesting hierarchy.
It is very different than some other places.
The reason I suggested challenging is because at the end of the night, we are creatures of hierarchy.
We are. That is very true.
And you want to force court or perhaps bring about coordination. Yet, many probably won't listen without either challenges, rank, or position. Out of them, only one can be quickly obtained. And while I believe that having discussions with each individual guru could yield incredible results, there might be another path.
She's listening. Also, out of game, Veronica is a guardian. That's like her sub position.
Yep, that's why he mentioned challenging. I mean, a guardian is essentially part of the pack, but what you're going to have to do is figure out a mission first, something to unite everyone behind. Once you have that, getting people to work together will be much easier because you'll have a starting point. You have given them a commonality.
She thinks over your words, but you could also tell that she has been thinking of various missions to unite them. She does seem to appreciate that you are bringing up ideas for her to use.
In the last couple of nights, some guru have come to talk to me. I wonder why they're coming to the quietest member of the sept. He says, turning to look.
I don't know the two individuals who talk to you, so I would not be able to answer that.
You're one of them, so I believe you know the answer to half of this question, but my point comes back to I'm not sure I'm the best one to provide insight when I'm so new.
There's certain things you can provide. You being new means that there's different things that you're used to and what different problems you're seeing.
Well, if you want to do it the way my old sept did, then train everyone to fight, organize ourselves into war camps, and move forward from there. That's what I was shown. I was taught how to get into places quickly. I believe the phrase would be charm your way through the front door, or take a window if it would be easier. Gather as much information as I can, and kill anything between me and getting it back to the sept. We didn't have many children of Al.
She smirks at your story. Sometimes you have to find other ways to be resourceful. You don't have to only be limited to Owl.
Yes, but there is something to be said for being as quick as they are when you're bringing back information. And a child of Al who's a full moon, well, I guarantee nothing is going to survive if it gets between him and his destination. But you're right, and that's why I'm here. And that's because I'm looking for a different change of pace, a new direction.
Perhaps you'll find what you're looking for in your new direction.
Perhaps. Maybe I need to meditate more, like those stargazers. Or maybe it's just that I'm missing something that only a crescent moon would be able to lead me to. I don't know. I apologize for being overly verbose.
She gives you a look to make it like that you could tell she's not offended. She would have let you know if you offended her.
So going forward, what can this packless wanderer do for you?
You showed that you are a resourceful glasswalker, and there's certain talents that your tribe has that other people don't concerning the cities and such. There have been, if there's issues with the city or another cub case, a lost cub case, I believe there's certain things that you can provide based on what you understand getting in and out. I don't believe most people would have suggested to take the high ground.
You have to adapt to your environment.
Not to mention that if there's so many problems, because keep hearing one problem then the next, rather than having a bunch of packs scramble back and forth between multiple problems, I figured why not unite them against a certain problem and eliminate it.
Would work very well. What's big enough to draw upon multiple packs for, and what are you, but yet small enough that it wouldn't require permission from the worm foe to send out various hunting parties.
She mind speaks it to you, going to the Dark Umbra. to get information about something that could threaten the Karen.
What's threatening the Karen?
Well, it's not threatening it directly. It's a few people saw something, and unfortunately, we need to get information from 3 people that died and didn't get proper rights. So they're in the Dark Umbra. And these 3 individuals were at a fallen Karen. We need to know why they were there. And they tried to kill somebody.
Do you know where they're from?
Not at the moment.
Do you have their bodies?
We do not, unfortunately.
You don't know who they are, you don't have their bodies, but do you know their tribe?
Octeta.
Do you know their auspices?
Ragabash, Arun, Galliard, if memory serves right.
But no crescent moon.
I don't believe so. Out of game, I gotta ask Lindsay again. I know one was a Galliard and one was a Rune, but I think the other one was a Raggy.
If there's no crescent moon, then you're missing a member of their pack, if they're doing something ritualistic. So there's one still at large.
She ponders over your words.
And if I had to guess, you said that they were not buried with the right rites. They ended up in the Dark Umbra. But you know where they died then.
Yes.
And it was at a cairn.
Yeah, but it's a fallen Karen.
Do you know their ranks?
Fostered.
Someone's missing them. You're probably missing a member of their pack. I'd have to guess Crescent Moon again. Because there's no way they could have been performing that without some sort of outside assistance. Any sort of ritual. Wait a second. Have you brought a Crescent Moon to the fallen Karen yet?
Out of game, give me one more. I gotta think who was with us at the game, because we didn't have a crescent moon, but I do have my pack. My pack does have a crescent moon. We can go there and investigate it.
I don't think you need to go into the Dark Umbra to get your answers then.
Hold on. Out of game, I'm gonna message if Lindsay can come.
She's at work. I know that because she was the one running my scene.
Oh, got it.
It makes sense, however. Someone else has to be the one who taught them, or at least created the rite. Very likely they wouldn't have gone through this process without Theurge if it had something to do with the Karen. The Uktena are wise when it comes to that sort of thing. There are spirits present that you should be able to speak with, because someone had to be watching it. And even if it's a Bane, I'm sure a Half Moon would be able to get some truth out of them, or at least figure out what the lies are. And then, so I would say then you need a pack to go investigate the Karen itself. You need a pack to investigate the Umbral landscape around the Karen. And then you would need a pack to be trying to track down if there's a missing pack member that you guys didn't find. What happened to the bodies?
To make sure the veil wasn't lifted, we had to burn them.
Did you keep the ashes?
Out of game, I don't remember. We kept their fetishes. We kept their fetishes to make sure they didn't fall. And the totem coyote was with us because we had to rescue a Octena that was going to be sacrificed.
Is Octana still alive?
Jesse, yes, but Jesse's missing. Okay, so out of game, Lindsay said she thought one was a Thayard, so I might be wrong with the details out of game.
Well, then it looks like whoever's looking for the missing pack member should also go looking for the missing Uktena, who is going to be sacrificed. You have the fetishes. The spirits were present, and they know quite a bit if they were being carried on them for a long time, so they should have answers. That should save you a dangerous trip into the Dark Umber, and this should be able to put everything together in a way that won't put everyone in the same degree of risk.
She nods as she's appreciating some of the input.
I hope some of that might be helpful.
It was. Thank you.
You're welcome. I assume you didn't come here for advice, however.
Not really, but I don't mind hearing other tribal input. It's sometimes very useful. Not to mention, if we were to work together, it's good to know what we're each capable of and what we think and know.
Well, that was just the overview of a scout, so.
Yep, out of game, something a Galliard does not normally do.
Well, I should get on my workout routine. Have I presented enough of myself for you to your satisfaction?
You have. I'll make sure I keep in touch if something serious comes up. See if you want to join.
Very well, and if you find any young Cleath looking for a place of their own, I'd be more than happy to speak with them.
Appreciate it.
Worst I can do is teach them that glory is not everything, he says, with your permission and by your leave.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
With your permission and by your leave, he says. I'm going to get running.
She nods and let you carry off as she's about to jump off the rooftop.
He'll give her a slight nod of his head and then make a running jump.
Like, you know how you do the jumps where you go down like the chutes and such?
Yep. Him, on the other hand, he has his city running, so he's literally just running forward and running along and basically parkouring off of everything like it's nothing. He's not doing anything blatant like running directly up walls, but he is just a natural.
I know what kind of style. I forget the term of it, but I know this kind of style. It's almost like you treat the city landscape as your playground.
Yeah, it's parkour. Or they sometimes call it the flow arts and free running.
That's it.
But with that, I guess we end scene.
Yep.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a good evening.